Good afternoon then, and welcome to the Foxes Biscuit Stadium here in the heart of the Heavy Woolen District, home of course of the famous Batley Bulldogs. I'm Pete Dutton, aka Pitchside Pete, and alongside me today is the Warrior, joined in the co-commentary position. And I've got to say, it's a pleasure, and it brings back so many memories. But alongside me today is none other than Brad Day. How are you doing, Brad?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm not too bad. How are you, Pete?
I'm not too bad. Happy anniversary. I think this is where we had our first date, Brad, if I'm not mistaken.
I can remember we had a little candle in between us. It was beautiful.
I was hoping I was going to get some flowers today and maybe chocolates, but not to worry, you know. It's
Had too many head knocks for that.
But good that you're here, mate. Good to see you. I will quickly give you the teams as Batley enter the field. Johnny Campbell, Dale Morton, Lucas Walshaw, Levi Edwards, Greg Johnson, Ben White, Tom Gilmore, Adam Gledall, Ben Kay, Toby Everett, George Senior, Dane Manning and Niall Flynn make up the 1 to 13 spots. Alistair Leake, Michael Ward, Jack Blackburn, and coming out of retirement after 2 years is Joe Chandler to help out this Batley squad that's been ravaged by injuries and COVID. Sweeping over then to our boys, the boys from the Millennium, of course, the mighty Featherstone Rovers. Today, making his debut, Alex Walker will start at fullback. Then Craig Hall, Chris Wellham, Josh Hardcastle and Ben Blackmore make up the centres and wing three-quarter line. For Manu Brown will go in at Acton half, and Dane Chisholm will play at scrum half. Frankie Holton, Connor Jones, James Lockwood make up the front row. Junior Moores and Brett Ferris the second, and Callum Field tying up the scrum at loose forward. Off the subs bench today we have Dean Parada, John Davis, James Harrison, and making another debut today is Gadwin Springer. So both teams are out, and we will go towards the customary as the boys all greet the fans that have travelled en masse over from Featherstone and far and wide. And we know we've got listeners tuning in right around the globe today. Good afternoon in Australia, good evening, good night in Australia, good morning wherever you are. Welcome to this broadcast here on Rovers TV. It's great to have you along. And there goes the hooter. We're going to have the customary now RFL stand against all forms of discrimination, which we wait for the referee. The referee today, Mr. Aaron Moore, blows the whistle. Some players take the knee. Some players just stand, showing their support for the RFL initiative. And the whistle goes there. As I say, Aaron Moore, the referee today, he's from Wigan. We've had him several times in the past. And I'm just going to check. I think it's his 6th time this season that he will have refereed a Featherstone game. And on average, he gives away 13 penalties a game. So need to keep a track on him.
He likes the whistle, doesn't he, Pete?
He does like the whistle. Batley will get us under the way. Batley will kick down the famous slope, and Featherstone will have first touch of the ball. And Chisholm collects that, feeds it to Lockwood, and Lockwood will come away and come up the slope. And it is Lockwood's 200.
There we go, that's an early penalty.
Early penalty then, given by the referee. We spoke about how he likes to give a few penalties away, but James Lockwood there manages to get one for the Rovers. Lockwood making his 200th Featherstone Rovers appearance today.
Outstanding.
Absolute class. And he is class. That's why he's captain. Fantastic.
Look at him again taking that carry.
Yeah.
Trundling forward.
First in there again, Brad, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Callum Field then, another young rising prospect of this Rovers outfit. Been outstanding in the games he's played so far this year.
Yeah, I think every game, Pete, he's growing with confidence and getting better. Willing to put his hand up and take some hard carries.
And then Ferris is eventually brought to ground. Rovers then will move the ball, and it is that man Lockwood. Lockwood goes through the gap, but is eventually wrapped up there by Toby Everett. So that's going to be a bit of a keen clash, as is this one today. Looking forward to seeing how Walshaw and Ferris get on, because there's no love lost there. Chisholm puts that high in the sky. Tester for Campbell, who's playing at fullback today. Not a regular. Well, I have seen him play fullback in the past, but he does prefer to be a winger, and he is more of an attacking fullback than a defensive one. So that'll be interesting to see how that shapes, Brad. Yeah,
definitely. One of Johnny's strong points is his scoot and how he runs, and he can be so evasive with his stepping game and things like that. So, you know, we need to take account for him when he's coming out of the back of these plays, because he does bring a lot of energy to the Batley side.
So it is Batley then. It is Walshaw who will look to stride down the slope. And again, Batley keeping it tight in the middles. Fifth and last tackle then. What will the option be? They'll look to put the ball to the sky. Ben Blackmore making his return back today, back in the team after his absence. And Ben Blackmore allows that to bounce and go dead. So it will be a 20-metre restart. And it will be Blackmore that taps it and goes. Ben Blackmore obviously back today. He'll be wanting to get through some graft.
It's good to have him back in it, Pete. The pig on the wing.
It is. The bronzed Adonis of Pontefract. In all his tanned glory. Featherstone then, with the ball in hand, as Hardcastle goes to ground, but we quickly get up and play the ball, moving the ball nice across, nice spread there towards the far stand side. As for Manu Brown, will take up the challenge. He'll find Field, a willing runner on the inside. Field is eventually brought down just shy of the 40-metre mark then. Chisholm shows, goes, finds Ferris. And Ferris is eventually fared and gets to the 30-metre line on the fourth tackle. So what will Featherstone do? We'll go straight down the middle with Frankie Holton. And Frankie Holton then on the fifth and last tackle is all just shy of the 20-metre line. Ball comes to this left-hand side. Chisholm with a deft little kick, looking for Hardcastle, trying to find Campbell in the back line and come up with an error. But Campbell does well there, picks that one off his toes. And now the customary cry, you hear it wherever you go, at any rugby league ground, get them onside. If we had £1 for that, Brad, we'd be millionaires.
Tell you something, I miss that when stadiums were empty. Get him onside, give it some air, watch his head.
Yeah. Get him off.
Yeah.
Batley then in possession, coming down the slope. We've had about 4 minutes here at the Foxes Biscuit Stadium. It's 0-0. Batley playing in their traditional claret and amber stripe flash across the central band, and Featherstone in our away kit today, the sky blue with white flashing, blue shorts, white socks. As the kick over the top there, Connor Jones just makes sure that Tom Gilmore's wasn't going to follow his kick there, but eventually the ball goes in to the hands of Craig Hall. Craig Hall cleans up at the back. He gets up, plays the ball. Josh Hardcastle will come in and take one of his many drives, as he will do all game. Chisholm awaits. Chisholm feeds Blackmore. Blackmore steps off, races away, manages to get a little chink there, but still wrapped up under 3 Batley defensive unit there. Up to the halfway line, then over the halfway line with Callum Field, before he's eventually held on the referee's call. Batley just trying to slow things down as Featherstone look to move the ball at pace here now. And we put the ball through hands into the hands of Craig Hall. Craig Hall, the bar of soap again. Slippery, slidey. He's everywhere. Batley eventually managing to pin him down, and a little bit of an infringement there afterwards. Stopping us getting to play the ball. But what a great pass from Hugh Brown over to the far side. Wellham back on the inside to Junior Moores. And Junior Moores is eventually brought down just over the 10-metre line, and that will be the turnover to Batley.
I was just going to say then, what a great arm wrestle it has been so far, but on that side you can tell we've just got that bit extra, where we just caught them a bit short on edges and things like that, where we managed to break. And
there's a bit of zip, isn't there?
Yeah.
We seem to have that bit of zip, Brad, which is nice, because we've got to maintain that as well, haven't we? Because we don't want to start and burn out, do we? We want to make sure that we keep that zip going.
And from playing Batley early on this year, there were plenty of times when they stuck with us.
Yeah.
And towards the third game, it was very tight towards the end.
Well, I think both teams and both coaches know one another now, don't they, so well. You know what I mean? So it's it's just finding that something new, isn't it? It is Batley in possession. It is Batley still struggling to get out of their own half. And eventually they managed to do that with Gledall on the 5th and last tackle. He's right in the centre of the park. As Gilmore not going for length this time, but going for height to try and test Blackmore. But Blackmore takes that one, then feeds it back on the inside to Alex Walker. And Walker will race away up towards the 30-metre line then. Featherstone. Plenty in the bag in the tackle count as Wellham will take that one. Frankie Alton. OKR bound at the end of the season. He's wanting to go out with a good show. Chisholm finds Hall. Hall goes down. Very lucky to not get dragged into touch there. Bit of an hospital pass from Chisholm. I'm sure he'll thank him later. Lockwood then. Lockwood back on the inside. Gallops up towards the 40-metre line before he's wrapped up by the hard-working defensive unit of Featherstone. Of Batley. And then, unusually, we come up with a knock-on.
I think there were a bit of an hand in there, but it's an hard one to take. Lockie just needs to try and keep it ball a bit tighter. Definitely.
But so far, Brad, as you say, we've had 8 minutes. It's not been a bad arm wrestle, has it? It's not been the tussle that we had last week, if you like. And we've shown if we get on the outside, we can maybe do some damage.
Yeah, I think on that last set then, I think we got a bit excited from the set previous with us having so much joy on the edge. I think we just need to get back to how we were before, just punching holes through the middle, making sure we've got some strong leads, and then it'll create the space on the edge. Well,
Featherstone then having to defend, and they do that quite well, and Batley come up with an error, a knock-on. So the advantage that they had has now been passed back to Featherstone. Frankie Alton will come to the centre of the park, and he'll stand in front of Gledall and Ben Kay in there. He'll play the ball. Connor Jones to Hardcastle, and Hardcastle again on another one of those runs that we spoke about previously that he makes all game long. Jones to Lockwood. Lockwood then, zip pass, moving the ball quite well. Ooh. Ball goes over the back line. Ben Blackmore just manages to try and stop that going out, but it does go into touch. Again, forcing the pass, maybe, Brad?
Yeah, I think that's what it's a case of. Like I says, if we can get back into that battle, we were proving we were starting to beat them with that. And with the bench what we've got as well, I'm pretty sure when they come on, that's going to take it to another level.
Well, plenty of time. It's opening stages. It's still 0-0. But it is Batley in possession. Batley just inside the Featherstone Rovers half. As Everett is wrapped up, the ball goes to Gilmore. Gilmore finds Campbell, and they float the ball over the top. And now Batley will look to bring it back on the inside with Niall Flynn before he's wrapped up. And now Campbell trying to find a gap in the Featherstone defence, but no gap is there. As Lockwood comes in, he takes down Toby Everett. The fans don't like that. Ooh. And then there's a hit and a bust there as Ferris goes in for the tackle, stops the gallop of Everett again. And the fans go up a notch here, but that goes into the hands of Chisholm. And Chisholm's away. He's gone 10, 20, 30. He's over the 50, over the 40. Chisholm's going to go all the way, length of the field, and then to rub it in, it's going to go towards the sticks. Biggest cheer so far of the game. Well done, Dane Chisholm. He loves to score those long-range tries, but he loves to score them here, doesn't he, Brad?
He does. He's brilliant at it, isn't he?
If you remember back, you know.
2019, wasn't it?
Yeah. And we saw it, didn't we? We saw it then, you know, where he just popped on that line and went. And again, he's done it again. So Dane Chisholm there, coming up with the goods. Dane Chisholm to the fore. The man, the myth, the legend, you know, has sometimes people question his ability, question his contribution. But when you can do stuff like that, mate, you're a game winner.
He's a big game player, isn't he?
Yeah, defo. So it is Batley 0, Featherstone 4. First blood then to the boys from the Millennium. And first blood to Dane Chisholm. As we wait for Craig Hall to take this one. And he strikes that one well. And Craig Hall adds the extras then. So Featherstone in the lead with the try from Dane Chisholm. Followed up with a conversion from Craig Hall. And it is Featherstone 6, Batley 0. What's the shout now, Brad?
As I'm pretty sure other lads have said, we just need to get back into the grind now, not lose possession anywhere, kick it out at full, you know, knock on and out. We just need to get back up that field and get back into that tussle.
Well, short kick-off there from Batley, and the ball goes here, there and everywhere, but it is Frankie Alton that eventually comes up with it. He gets up and plays the ball. Connor Jones through the gap. Connor Jones is away, stretching his legs. Go on, Connor! Oh, fantastic run from Connor Jones. Quick play, the ball needed. Hall finds that play, finds for Manu Brown, finds Morse to Wellham. Wellham just throws the ball nonchalantly. A little bit of an error there, but we do retain possession.
Back to 1.
And it is back to 1. So, Lockwood then to the 10-metre line. Sells a little dummy there, eventually brought down. Jones finds Chisholm. Chisholm finds Ferris. Ferris out the back door. Into the hands of Craig Hall. And Craig Hall spills the pass there.
It were on as well.
It was, wasn't it?
It was.
So, old Mr. Soapy was...
had it on his hands that time, didn't he?
Yeah. Just proving a little bit slippery himself there. But knowing Craig Hall, and we've seen it so many times, Brad, where he'll come up with a little error, but then what does he do? Oh, he'll do 3 things, 4 things right.
We've done well through that set, though. We're lucky to get there, and then Jonesy to make that break, and then playing off back of it, and then we almost scored.
And look at where we are now. We're encamped deep in the Batley half then. Batley coming down the slope, and Batley having to find some answers to try and unlock what has so far been a very, very tight, disciplined Featherstone defensive unit, as the boys from the Millennium strike up the band to our left-hand side. And there goes New Brown! Oh, New Brown, punch supreme! What a fantastic try, and what a way to come back in this game, keep the pressure on. And an error there from Batley. I'm sure they'll be ruining that one, but New Brown picked the ball out of nowhere, races 50 metres, puts the ball down under the black dot, and it's game on here at the Foxes Biscuit Stadium. Will it? Oh, sorry. So,
picking the pockets again, aren't we?
Yeah, and I'm being told off. Do apologise, but a little bit of excitement there. And New Brown, obviously, scoring again, adding to his tie trolley, picking the pocket, as Brad said there. That pushes it out to 10-0. The kick to come from Craig Hall. 15 minutes on the scoreboard. Hall's not going to miss that one. So another 2 to Craig Hall.
Looks like the rain's starting now as well, so that'll prove a factor on ball. Well,
this is the 165th time that these two have met. Featherstone have won 107 of them, drawn 2 and lost 55. They have rattled in 3,065 points before today and conceded at 1,000 984 against in all fixtures against Batley. And it is Gilmore that puts us back on the start then. And it is Lockwood with the ball. He will come away, just advancing slowly as Chisholm feeds Ferris. Ferris up towards the 30-metre line here. Still deep inside his own half. Frankie Alton will want to stretch his legs, and Frankie Alton goes, manages to get to the 40-metre line before he's wrapped up. Play in the central channel again. And Callum Field there. And Callum Field does well there to keep his head on his shoulders, because it certainly looked as if Gledhill wanted it. And there, through the gap, goes Walker. Walker finds Wellham. Wellham looking to feed, looking for somebody on the back line. Blackmore keeps it in play, although we've lost yards. Connor Jones then. Connor Jones, he will keep going, and I think it's in the hands of Walker there. And how it all started, Walker is eventually brought down, and we have a stoppage in play there, an injury to the fullback, Johnny Campbell. A little bit over-eager there. I don't know what's... obviously, we know that Ben Blackmore's been out, and we know that Chris Wellham, and there's just... It's not a lack of communication, is it? What would you say, Brad?
I think it's just a bit forced.
Yeah.
I think we've got that much space in front of us, and we're thinking we need to score on this play.
Yeah.
When sometimes we don't.
Yeah.
We could easily have got them on the next one. Batley were too far behind the play to get back on side.
Yeah.
And, we could have stripped him the opposite side.
Yeah.
So we just need to be a bit smarter in his play. But it looks like there's a bit of a problem for Junior there, with him coming off and Haribo going on.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going into the middle and Frankie Elton's going to the right edge.
So, as you picked up there then, James Harrison comes on. He replaces Judy Moores. Judy Moores just talking to the coaching staff down in front of us. Now commentary position as Ferris moves the ball quickly to Hardcastle. Hardcastle spills the ball, and that will give possession back to Batley, and it is White with the ball in hand for Batley, who want to get this one back on the go. So Featherstone's defence muscling up in numbers there. Callum Field, James Lockwood, just keeping Batley at bay as Batley will go again. Harrison in there. He'll do his usual stint of graft and tackling. And now Featherstone are caught offside. First offside of the afternoon, Brad. So we've got to be careful of this.
Yeah, we're just compounding his errors there. We made a mistake where we've, Harry's knocked on ball and then we've given an offside, which is just inviting Batley down into our half, down in our 20. Yeah,
well, that's what it does, Brady. We've now gone from being just inside the Batley half to now being pinged on his own 10-metre line with Batley to the 4.
Yeah, it's going to be a big set for us, this. Show how resilient we are.
Well, this is now where we've got to muscle up in defence. This is where we've got to show what we've got in the locker, so to speak, as we try and repel Batley as they come in numbers. The big figure there of Everett. Again, he's brought down by Harrison as Batley move the ball towards the post. Batley will look to keep it going, trying to get the pass out the back door as Adam Gledhill is eventually wrapped up. Batley do use a few metres in that one, and now they'll drive again towards the sticks. The 4 players brought down. 5th and last tackle then. Featherstone's defence holding out so far. And now Gilmore will put the little kick over the back. And
it's done well there, Alex Walker.
Well, yeah, Alex Walker there managing to knock that dead. But it will be a dropout then to Batley. First dropout of the afternoon that Batley will be the recipients of. And Craig Orr with the ball in hand will look to find a spot. And he boots that, and he does give that a boot. That is a fantastic boot, deep inside the Batley half there, near almost on the Batley 40, where Batley will have to come back from. But Batley do, and they make it up. Great yards that Batley make there as Alistair Leake comes into it, and Alistair Leake just having a bit of a tussle there with Harrison. Connor Jones and Callum Field does well to keep the ball, but Batley will look to play this quickly as Gilmore again is to the 4. That looks slightly forward. He did well to hold on to that, did Dane Manning, as he went into the collision. Batley then encamped on the 10-metre line, moving the ball very quickly as Gilmore tries to go through the gap. Gilmore spots the gap, goes towards the line. It's eventually brought down there by Jones.
Scoot.
And now Batley go for a close range effort, and I think the referee has given that one.
Adam Gledhill, the prop.
And Adam Gledhill then, the try scorer. So the prop muscling in from close range. Now, was that, Brad, looking at that, I don't know who it was that had obviously tried to clear the ruck, and obviously hadn't cleared the ruck, so Gledhill, opportunist try there to...
He's saying that we've got too many people down on the fort and we've moved too quick as a ruck.
Yeah.
We've had about 3 or 4 people in that tackle, and everybody's got off at the same time, trying to find the positions, trying to get some width for edges, but then we forgot about the ball around the ruck. And then obviously Adam Gledhill's picked it up and just dived over and taken his opportunity. But I'll tell you something, there'll be a few more attempts of them today, taking scoots close to his line.
Well, 25 minutes gone of the first half. It is Featherstone Rovers 12, Batley 6, as the try is converted by Gilmore.
It all goes back to when Hardy knocked it on and then they compounded it with the penalty. Obviously it gave Batley that opportunity to be in possession and force a drop out, which is then obviously compounded into a try. So let's see if we can get back into it now.
So the kick from Hall, that will go deep towards the Batley 10-metre line. Batley will come away with it. They'll use the advantage, playing down the far stand side. Here, Batley trying to go up through the gears as they charge down the slope. Lockwood and Harrison there for Featherstone, just stopping any momentum being gained, any yardage, and forcing Batley into this central channel, which is great. It's easy enough for Featherstone to defend, not allowing Batley anywhere to get it to the fringes where they have got some pace if they need it. But so far, it is advantage Featherstone as a kick goes through from Batley, and that allows to run dead. So it will be a restart in the centre of the field on the 10-metre line, and it will be Walker that's got the ball in hand. Will he tap it and go himself as he's looking around for a few instructions? Featherstone just drawing a bit of area, which is good, conserving a little bit of energy. Chisholm then. Chisholm to Blackmore. It's good to see Glenn Blackmore coming back into the game a little bit more as he gets up towards the 20-metre line before he's brought down. First tackle. Now Frankie Holton. Frankie Holton, a little bit unlucky there that the gap didn't open more for him, but he is brought down on the 30. Harrison, straight darting run, straight there from the ruck, up to the 40-metre line now.
3 carries there, Pete, and we've made 30 metres.
30 metres.
Excellent.
That's excellent yardage, as you say, Brad. Chisholm then. Chisholm spots the gap, goes for a little dance, then finds Lockwood. And Lockwood then is eventually brought down. Connor Jones. And I've got to say, Brad, looking at this, I know that we've got the possession here, but every time around that ruck, there's metres to be had. 5th and last.
Yeah.
5th and last. And I'm hoping when Parada comes on, we exploit that. Ferris then. Ferris with a kick. And Ferris puts that into touch. That gets a big cheer. John Davis looks on the touchline, nonchalantly looks at the ground and shakes his head. He's not smiling, not really known for his smiles is John, but certainly wasn't smiling at that one. So we have to defend, and that is what we'll do, and we'll defend against Lucas Walshaw.
Looks like John's going to be going on soon as well.
Yeah, as Leake moves the ball across the park to Campbell. Campbell, very slight of frame, but very, very strong, Brad.
Yeah.
And just manages to keep getting some forward momentum there. Has a little word with Blackmore and Wellham before he gets up. Harrison now completes the next tackle Gilmore for Batley. Gilmore will take the yards and try and get somebody running from his shoulder. Ben Kay is eventually brought down. I've got somebody stood in front of me.
On there.
Can't see it. The ball's bobbling all over, and the referee is going to say that that's gone dead. So
drop out. Blackie.
Yeah, it's going to be another drop out then, isn't it?
Yeah, Blackie did well there to guard it. Greg Johnson were on his shoulder, almost trying to take an opportunity to try, but Blackie managed to dive on it and defuse the situation.
I'm glad you can see that. So you tuned in to Rovers TV, bringing you the best coverage of the mighty Featherstone Rovers, home and away throughout the 2021 season. And it is Campbell for Batley, who takes the dropout kick and races away, eventually gets to the 30-metre line, and Batley are given a back to one for lying on in the play of the ball area, as John Davis now enters the fray as Callum Field comes off. So John Davis will want to have an impact straight away from the off, but it is Batley with possession, and it is Batley trying to attack down the left-hand side as they go down the slope. Batley looking for some quick plays. Gilmore with that little back drop pass manages to keep the ball alive with Leake. Leake finds Gledhill, try-scorer already today. Eventually Featherstone's defence numbers up and pushes Gledhill back. Batley sit around about 8 metres away from the try line. A few gaps are appearing if
what
needed.
A tackle.
But what a fantastic tackle there. And that is going to see Featherstone get the ball.
James Harrison, that.
Yeah, as James Harrison is in there to nullify that one. Oh no, it's not going to see Featherstone get the ball. It's going to see Batley go back and play it off the 10. And now Batley will try and force something over on the far side, and that does look as if Batley have. It does look as if Batley have scored.
Greg Johnson, that.
Yeah, it does look as if.
There were a contest against
Greg
Blackie.
Johnson, yeah. Showing
his Super League prowess there, didn't he? His ability.
Yeah.
His experience.
Well, he read that well, didn't he, to squeeze in, because in all the way that it looked from the angle where we're sat, or certainly where I'm sat, Brad, you know,
very tight.
Very, very tight.
Yeah.
Very, very tight.
He's done really well there.
Yeah.
Especially against Blackie, who was on him straight away.
Yeah.
It was just how strong are you kind of contest, wasn't it?
So with the score now, Featherstone 12, Batley 10 after the try from Greg Johnson. We've had 30 minutes of the first half, and we wait.
It's strange how we've got ourselves in this position now, because we were so commanding, weren't we, to start with the first 20-25 minutes, I'd say.
Well, we've been dominant, haven't we? You know,
yeah.
I know we had the first 8 minutes, and as you can tell from the cheers, that Gilmore adds to his tally today. So that locks everything up. 12 apiece here at the Foxes Biscuit Stadium. Myself and Brad were just saying there, the first 8 minutes of this one, you know, it was a bit of an arm wrestle. Then we got in front and seemed to enjoy a spell where we put Batley to under pressure. But Batley have come back. I won't say with a bang, but they've hung in there, Brad.
Yeah, they have. Like I says, you know, we've just kept on compounding his errors, playing in the wrong part of the field, and every time we've got the ball, especially when we're running around the ruck, you know, we're making meters and we're making half breaks, so we just need to get back to the grind, make sure we have his fair share at ball, and hopefully we'll start making more breaks, and Batley will finally go away.
Well, when they bring on Michael Ward, and Michael Ward straight into the action, manages to offload and get some more forward momentum for the Batley Bulldogs. And eventually Gilmore will kick.
40-20.
And that is going to be a 40-20, if I'm not mistaken, Brad.
Yeah,
and that
looks
will
like
give
it. Yeah, it is.
That will give possession back to Batley. So Batley will restart. And it is Leake with the ball. Leake quickly plays that one. And it is Batley who are certainly enjoying the possession, certainly asking questions again. That man Gilmore finds Ward, the big frame of Ward.
JD's up.
Yeah. As John Davis is down there in back play, he's going to be receiving some treatment.
I think it's his shoulder. It looks like possibly a bit of a stinger, you know. As
he's gone into... I mean, he's a big frame, isn't he? A big unit, Ward.
He's a big awkward human being,
how
shall we say.
How do you get... It's whichever angle you go at, you know you're
it's going to be tough, isn't it? Yeah.
So, rightly, as my co-commentator says, he's a big unit. And we'll leave it at that one. Couple of quick hellos there, and good afternoon to Alan Bedworth. And Alan wants us to say and wish his granddaughter Georgia, she's 8-year-old and she's broke a leg in 3 places, but she is a season ticket holder at Rovers as we get back underway. So Georgia, all the best from me and the team, and we wish you a speedy recovery. Up the Rovers, as we say, Georgia. Batley then with possession, trying to find a gap and using Ward, the big frame of Ward, to try and barge over. And eventually Lockwood there and Harrison bring him down. But it is Gilmore, who's been a bit of a tricky customer today, as Gilmore. He's certainly been to the fore in the first half. Certainly looked for runners and found men when he needed to. But it is Featherstone's defence then that nullify that attack. It will be changeover, and it will be Harrison that has the ball as we get back underway.
Looks like Spring Roll's ready to come on as well. Big Gadwin. Let's see what impact he can make.
It'll be good to get him on as Ben Blackmore now. He'll be wanting to certainly give something extra as the game progresses. It's Featherstone with the ball up to the 30-metre mark with Wellham, and then Lockwood, he gets us forward towards the 40-metre mark, but still play inside Featherstone's half as Chizzy puts a kick through, trying to split Johnny Campbell there and the winger, but Johnny Campbell read that one quite well, and Johnny Campbell picks that up, and Johnny Campbell is eventually brought down to earth as Gadwin Springer comes on then. He makes his debut then. Big figure of Gadwin Springer. Signed from Halifax, formerly of Toronto Wolves. But he'll want to get straight into the action. Will Gadwin, as Ward, Batley juggles that one as he runs into the collision, but manages to keep hold of it. And New Brown, Frankie Holton there doubling up in the tackles as Campbell is getting stuck in from the fullback spot. He's now drifted over to that far stand side. Gilmore in the centre of the park as Springer comes in and doubles up in the tackle to nullify that Batley attack. Batley still remaining. Gilmore with a deft little kick over the top. That is going into the hands of Walker, and Walker does well to recover there, Brad.
Yeah, he does really well. It looks like the targeting that edge of ours.
That certainly looked high, and Chris Wellham there certainly got one round his chops. But
was that off Alistair Lake as well?
Yeah, I think it was, mate.
About 5'6".
As Featherstone then throw the ball, give the ball some air to Craig Hall. Craig Hall will dart back on the inside. Featherstone trying to exploit some gaps on the outside, and now we will go with Josh Hardcastle. Josh Hardcastle races away as Batley's defence is certainly managing to stifle anything that Featherstone can throw at him in his first half. Another kick there from Chisholm, straight down the hands and throw of Johnny Campbell, and Johnny Campbell races back, John. And well in there, John Davis and Connor Jones there, just bringing Campbell to the floor. But it is Batley going again, certainly enjoying a lot of the possession towards the closing stages of this half. 36 minutes gone, it's all square. Batley 12, Featherstone 12. It is Batley in possession. They are on the 30-metre line as Gadwin Springer just stops the Batley player getting any momentum there. And the ball comes low. Batley managed to keep it alive with Walshaw. Walshaw runs into the chest of Chisholm. Chisholm helped out by Davis. And Walshaw is eventually stopped in his tracks. And Alistair Leake spills the ball. The ball's still live. So referee's going to go for the first knock on here. And it will be Featherstone's possession. A little bit lucky there, Brad.
Yeah, that was a difficult one to officiate, I'd say, to be fair. But I'm glad we got the ball, and this is what we need to do now. We need to build and try and keep hold of that ball until half time.
Frankie Holton then, as the clock says, 37 minutes, 25 seconds gone of the first half. Now Wellham, who seems to be okay after his initial slap round the head. And here comes the big boys. Gadwin Springer charging onto that one like a rampaging bull, trying to get out of the paddock. Hall to Ferris. Ferris does well to keep it. Finds Hardcastle on his outside. Josh Hardcastle does well. Takes the ball, but he's pushed into touch. And unfortunately for Josh Hardcastle, nowhere to go.
We're killing ourselves. Here.
Yeah. Well, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. I'm just looking there, Brad. I don't know if you noticed. I was just looking at the coaching line, and we can see James Webster sat not too far away from us, and he was furious there. Yeah. He charged down, didn't he, to
have a word with Paul March to pass the message on to the field.
And as you say, we're not doing ourselves any favours, Brad, at this moment in time. It's a bit of a bit of an odd show, but we know what we're capable of. We know exactly what we need to do, and we know that we are more than capable of winning this game. But it is Batley. Batley then will again comb at this Featherstone's defensive unit. Frankie Holton in there tackling. Gilmore, Ward. And it's all been through that man Gilmore so far as Leake. Now sells the dummy and Leake goes through the gap. Fifth and last then. Just inside the 20-metre mark of Featherstone's half. Gilmore is going for a drop goal, and Gilmore converts the drop goal. Takes the 1-pointer to push Batley out to 13. And just as I was saying there, Brad, Gilmore has been to the fore, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a smart player. He's Gilmore. He's played plenty of Super League. He's quite an old head on young shoulders now, and he knows how to manage a game. And obviously, that's just showing a bit of game management there. Probably, it'd have been tough to get a try. So to get the 1 point while we were down there with another 10 seconds to go, it's a pretty smart player to be going ahead in front of us.
Well, Johnny Campbell races away then as a quick kick off there from Hall goes very deep. Johnny Campbell manages to get to the 30-metre line before he's wrapped up. Then Batley come again, putting it through Leake. Batley edging the way towards the halfway line as the clock on the scoreboard runs down to halfway. It is Featherstone 12, Batley 13. There is a spilt pass there, and referee Mr. Moore is going to stop the play. He's going to slow everything down. He's going to give possession to Featherstone. Connor Jones then, he puts the ball into the hands of John Davis. John Davis says, can we go? The referee's getting everybody back on side. And Frankie Holton eventually takes a drive that gets us inside the Batley half. Connor Jones then. Connor Jones finds Chisholm. Chisholm, Harrison, Walker to Hardcastle. Hardcastle with nowhere to run. He was literally going down a cul-de-sac there, and Batley knew exactly how to snuff him out as the big frame of James Harrison goes on a charge. Nearly clatters his own player there, so well done Gadwin Springer for just stepping out of the way. Yeah. New Brown with a little deft kick over the top. That's going to turn round Campbell as it bounces. Now, Campbell spills the ball, throws the ball over the dead ball line, and it will be our first dropout of the game, Brad.
Yeah, this is what we need more of. Obviously, it's a given, innit? That obviously, when we need stuff like this, is a given. But people are pushing now, and they didn't just one-up carries. People are going with them, as you've seen with James Harrison and Gadwin Springer. And Batley are a bit on back foot now, which is good to see.
Well, we needed that little bit of something, and it's to be hoped now that we can finish this half the stronger as Harrison then. And Harrison will charge forward. He'll get us inside the Batley half as Featherstone come up the slope now. Jones to Chisholm. Chisholm back to Harrison. Harrison to Springer. Springer looking to keep the ball alive with Davis through broken play. John Davis ducking and diving, bobbing and a weaving, hustling away there is the small man. Connor Jones from the ruck. Chisholm fades it over the top to Ferris. Ferris into the hands of Hall. Hall dances away and eventually is brought down, and Batley are going to look to try and push Craig Hall into touch. And to me, I've got to say, Brad, that shouldn't have happened, because the referee should have shouted held there well before it got to that stage of
before
pushing,
play.
Of pushing the man into touch.
It's a frustrating one, Pete. It's frustrating, but
it's very frustrating.
I feel Batley are confident within themselves now, and that it's showing with those extra effort areas. We just need to get back to where we are, and hopefully we can get that blue wall behind us as well. And I'm sure that'll take us on for the second half.
Well, it is half time then here at the Foxes Biscuit Stadium. It's been an entertaining first half that sees the Batley Bulldogs lead at this stage at 13 points to 12. And Brad, if you were to give us a quick summary of how that half's gone, what would you say has been the positive that Featherstone can take away as they head into the sheds?
We've got it. We've got the players. We've got the mentality. I think we're just self-imploding sometimes and forcing that extra pass, and it's creating a mistake. And then from his mistake, we're compounding it through penalties, and we're giving Batley that possession. Which, if you give any good side that kind of amount of possession, it's going to prove with the scoreline. So we just need to get ourselves back into the game, do what we were doing to start with, the first quarter of that game. And I'm pretty sure, if we keep on top of that, we'll get the blue wall behind us as well. And second half, it'll turn for us.
So it is half time here at the Foxes Biscuit Stadium. It is Batley 13, Featherstone 12. Come back and join us in the second half, and we hope to bring you a lot more frills, spills and entertainment, and Brad Day might even sing you a song. Welcome then back to the Foxes Biscuit Stadium here in the heart of West Yorkshire in Batley, home of the Batley Bulldogs, of course. And so far, it is the Batley Bulldogs that are just snapping, if you like, growling and I won't say proper snarling at the heels of Featherstone Rovers, but they do hold the very slenderest of leads. It is... Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
I was going to say, it got me as well.
Yeah, that woke me up. It is Batley 13, Featherstone 12, and we're just laughing here on the commentary gangtree because I think that woke all of us up. And Brad, what do you think the message will have been at half time? Do you think head coach James Webster will have said, look, we need to cut out the schoolboy errors here and start playing smart rugby?
Yeah, exactly, Pete. I think he'd address the errors what we're making, looking at the compared to the first quarter of the game compared to the last. And he'd address that and saying we need to get back into the arm wrestle. When we were in the arm wrestle, we looked really good, and we just don't need to force that extra pass because that's where mistakes are coming.
Well, from the kick-off then, and
brilliant start.
Yeah, we couldn't have asked for a better start because Craig Hall kicked that deep, and Batley have come up with a knock-on as Johnson. Is it Johnson? I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it was.
Yeah, the try scorer has spilt the ball on his return, so we will get possession right in front of the post, centre part, 10 metres out. Chisholm onto Ferris. Ferris will drive that forward as he will eventually be brought down under a 3-man Batley tackle. And Brett Ferris, to be fair there, didn't like that, and the referee neither, so the referee awards a penalty. As Gadwin Springer is the recipient of the ball. Gadwin Springer then using his frame to drive forward here at the Batley line. Brown onto Chisholm. Chisholm finds the runner again of Ferris. And the ball comes now back into the centre of the field. John Davis does really well to keep momentum going. New Brown manages to offload to Connor Jones. Connor Jones goes forward, but no real momentum there. If anything, a few metres lost, but we are back where we probably give ourselves a better scoring chance from, and that scoring chance is going to come. No, eventually Hardcastle is brought down. He'll get up and play the ball very quickly. Chisholm will crumb back across the field. Sends Gadwin Springer.
Gadwin.
And Gadwin's going to go on a yard gallop there towards the sticks. Just brought down short of the line. Brown out the back door to Holton. Holton sends in Ben Blackmore. And Ben Blackmore scores on his return to the team. Very, very unselfish there of Frankie Holton, because he could have scored himself, but gave the ball to Blackmore. Was it Blackmore?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah.
The flying pig on the wing.
There you go.
Even jumped in there for it.
Yeah, there we go. Ben Blackmore then opens his score, adds to his try-scoring feats. I think he had 6 before today. But he'll take that one, won't he, on his return, Brad, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
It's an extra level of Brown there. I think he'll be going for the Dave Dickinson look when he goes into the suntan booth this week now, in celebration of that one.
He'll have an extra 12 minutes to celebrate, won't he?
Definitely. Well, unfortunately, Craig Hall sends that one wide, but it is advantage to Featherstone, as we now lead 16 points to 13 here at the Foxes Biscuit Stadium. Featherstone coming down the slope then, playing towards the town end at the bottom of the slope, as Batley with Gilmore will get us back underway. Try coming after the 43rd minute of the game. And it is Walker that returns that one from the full-back position. I was just looking there, Brad. We're going to have to be careful here, because he does have a look at Dean Parada, doesn't he?
Alex Walker?
Yeah,
he
does, mate, with hair. It's a team haircut, mate. It's a team haircut. Quick play then around the ruck. This is what we need. John Davis gets us towards the 50-metre halfway line as Harrison comes to the fore. New Brown offloads out the back door to Frankie Holton. Frankie Holton is met by Michael Ward and a couple of other willing Batley tacklers before he's brought down. Harrison spots the gap, goes for the gap, use those long striding legs, managed to get the ball away to Connor Jones. Connor Jones floats one over the top to Craig Hall. Craig Hall then will attack down the far stand side. Referee signals back to 1. Featherstone just inside the 10-metre line of the Batley Bulldogs. Craig Harrison will go forward, and the referee gives a penalty to Featherstone for offside. So a second set, another advantage then towards the Featherstone Rovers team. What can we do here? Gadwin Springer then will go forward. I've just had it confirmed. It was actually Ben Blackmore's 6th try in 7th game. So well done, Ben. And it is.
Iro just being held up there.
Iro, yes, it is. James Harrison then held up on his back, so play will come back. Restart on the 10. Featherstone looking for some way through this gap, and they try that barge again with Ferris, but Batley have read that quite well all afternoon. They'll now look to switch the play as Chisholm will race back across the park, throws the ball at the back door. Good job that New Brown was there. We have actually lost meters here. New Brown with that shimmy and that shake. New Brown dancing, showing his dazzling skills, finds Wellham. Wellham is trying to get away from the Batley defence, but we're actually gone back there now on the 20-metre line then. And the ball will go through Jones to Holton. Eventually, Frankie Holton will go forward on the 5th and last tackle. Quick step from Connor Jones. Connor Jones looks to offload to John Davis. John Davis trying to find men on the outside. And that should be back to one. And it is back to one. And then, uncharacteristically, the ball goes to ground. Alex Walker couldn't free pin the pass. But Featherstone will retain possession from the first knock on. Referee stops the clock as one of the Batley players is receiving a bit of treatment. And so is that Connor Jones as well being looked at in back play there.
Yeah, it looks like it. I think he's getting a bit of
running repairs.
Yeah.
It's not the old magic sponge anymore, is it? Or the old smelling salts.
The smelling salts, yeah.
Oh,
that'll wake you up.
That takes me back. Oh, it's turning my stomach at the thought, Brad.
Oh, good bit of tape there, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, it is, mate.
He'll be putting that on his Tinder.
Yeah, I just hope the bolts are in right. Old Frankenstein is alive and well and making an appearance at Batley. Well,
I can't wait for somebody to get a picture of that.
Well, I'm hoping that our regular club photographer manages to snap that in all its glory. But it is Featherstone with the ball, and we will go with Wellham. Wellham will just take the tackle before he's brought down. Johnny Davis on a burst through the gap. Johnny Davis over the 10-metre line before he himself is brought down. Featherstone then, few tackles in the bag. Chisholm spills that one, but the ball eventually goes into the hands of Harrison. Brett Ferris is down in back play. I think Johnny Campbell is down in back play as he raced after Brett Ferris there and took the knock.
I think it was one of those things where it's knee on knee.
Yeah.
One of those
50-50, yeah. Well, we just got this small break, Brad, in play. How's things going with yourself with the recovery and everything and the treatment, everything on track?
Yeah, it feels like it, definitely. It was my first week in pool this week, starting to walk, which were a bit strange, getting water on me and actually standing on the foot. But I've been 3 times now to the pool, and every time I've got better and I'm feeling more comfortable. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I can start progressing a bit more and start taking my boot off a bit more and, be back in no time, hopefully.
Good stuff. Great to hear. You heard it here first on Rovers TV then. Live and exclusive, Brad Day is definitely on his way back, going through the rehabilitation process. You're not really missing much in the game. It is Batley that have possession, and is as the Evans open here, it is Gadwin Springer there to the 5th and last tackle then for the Batley Bulldogs. Batley in the centre of the park. We'll find Gilmore. Gilmore will put a kick through. That goes into the hands of Craig Hall, and Craig Hall positions himself just to go down the blind side. And Hardcastle now will take a drive as cheers go up from the Batley faithful for stopping Josh Hardcastle there. The Featherstone faithful is singing now at the bottom end of the ground on the Craig Lingard terrace. For those of you that know the ground, Gadwin Springer. Gadwin over the over the halfway line towards the 40-metre line here. Is Gadwin getting a bit of facial there, a bit of afters. But
he's
just
taking some good
all
carries
that.
today,
Yeah,
hasn't
he has. To say it's his first game for Featherstone, he's done really well. And a great kick there from Chisholm. Allows Craig Hall there just to position himself and then force the wingman of Batley into touch. So play will recommence and it will restart on the 10-metre line. It will be Featherstone's ball. Featherstone then with tackles in the bank. 10 minutes gone of this second half so far, as Webster sends out the troops to warm up the substitutes. Springer then on a gallop straight from the 10-metre line towards those posts, brought down 5 minutes out as New Brown dances away, and that again looks high, and that is high, and the referee says definitely, and gave what's the penalty? My teeth have broke.
Do we put him back in?
Yes, mate. Yeah. I'm getting all excited. It's at the sight of New Brown's dancing, mate. That's what does it, mate. Chisholm then with the ball will get us back underway. Harrison will steamroll forward. Harrison will go, but the ball comes loose. The ball comes loose, and that gets a big cheer. And now the referee is going to go and bring the play into the central channel. A restart then for Batley. Alistair Leake. And Alistair Leake just passes the ball on. And Batley deciding to run it then. And Featherstone's defence managing to get out of the blocks and try and keep the them down here. Now Ward for Batley will take the ball forward, and he's eventually brought down just shy of his own 40-metre line. But it is Batley making advantage of the big men, taking advantage coming up the slope. And we are playing downhill in this second half. I can confirm that to those fans that are asking. Playing towards, well, down the slope, effectively.
Dean Parata's on now for Connor Jones.
So change there then. And that will hopefully... it is. Here comes the Magician. Magician finds Gadwin Springer in his first touch of the ball for this afternoon. And he's there again now is Parata. Parata will be wanting runners, and Parata will be looking. He'll be hungry to get this team some forward momentum. Brown to Holton. Holton back on the inside before he's wrapped up. Chisholm then. Chisholm takes his time, puts a kick over the back line, and that is received by the Batley winger, and Batley having now to defend deep inside their own half, just shy of their own 10-metre line, in fact. And now Johnny Campbell will come on a run. He manages to get over the 10-metre line before he's met by John Davis and Dean Parata, who put him to the ground. Batley then coming up the slope, managing to just gain a few more metres there as they get towards their own 30-metre line. And now bringing in the big men, bringing in the big frame there of Jack Blackburn. Ooh. Now referee pings New Brown there, and that'll be interesting to see again, Brad.
Yeah, I understand why he's given the penalty. It's just always a difficult one, especially when the player's slipping. You know, it's always an hard one to pull out. You're never going to be able to pull out of it completely, so I understand why the penalty is being given, but like I says, you know, it's a difficult one to prevent.
So we see one of the Batley players then on the ground.
I think it's Levi Edwards.
Yeah. Just getting a bit of treatment there for the knock that he took. Players stopped here.
I think he's enjoying this break.
Yeah. I think he's...
I think he would have to table service at one point on physio.
Yeah, well, Levi Edwards, that it was. And Levi Edwards now. Well, which ball are we having? Alistair Leake then takes that to Manning. Manning will stride forward before he's met by Alton and Parata. Leake in there again. Finds Gilmore. Gilmore finds Walshaw.
Looks like Lockie's back on for Gadwin.
And Batley then moving the ball with a bit of fizz. Just trying to find some gaps here, and they do manage to find something. But eventually then Featherstone's defence muscles up. Parada in there. Again to the fore as Gilmore asking questions. Trying to get Manning back on the inside run. But Davis and Holton there. Managing to stop Manning in his tracks as Gilmore crabs across the field. Looking for runners. Johnny Campbell. Johnny Campbell then going one way now. Decides to go back the other. Johnny Campbell looking for a runner. But nobody taking the ball off him. Although it is still kept alive. It's fifth and last tackle. Batley just inside the 10-metre line of Featherstone then. Batley will move the ball right across the park. A kick that hits the legs of Parada. And the magician manages to recover there and pick that one off the floor on the 20-metre line. Chris Wellham. Chris Wellham will go straight at Walshaw.
Big play off Dean there. Massive play.
Fantastic play. Josh Hardcastle then. Josh Hardcastle just trundled forward. Still going is Josh Hardcastle, allowing the Batley players to drag him forward a little bit as Gadwin Springer comes off after his stint. And Lockwood is back on, and Ben Blackmore there. Ben Blackmore bursting through, gets us to the 40-metre line then. The 40-metre line of Batley Bulldogs. A quick play of the ball finds John Davis. John Davis back to Parada. Parada will dance and skip and shimmy and shake before he's brought down on the 20-metre line of the Batley Bulldogs. Fifth and last tackle then. Where will the ball go? The ball will come across. That will go into the hands of Brown. Brown back on the inside to Walker. Brilliant. And Walker takes his try. First try for the club. First try in Featherstone colours. And well done, Neil Brown and Dane Chisholm, mate, for keeping the ball alive and not going for the kick.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to mention earlier how well I thought Alex has been going. It's his first game for the club, like he mentioned, and he's showing up in places and he's even in the effort areas, when the ball's being kicked, he's chasing it as hard as he can to put pressure on the opposite fullback. And then when he's coming back in defence, he's telling the numbers where to go, and the right people are in the right spot. So, I think he's been really good for us. And he's a younger Craig Hall, I'd say, with how he plays, like a bar of soap.
He is like a bar of soap. But there's only one Imperial lever, and the old Imperial lever there will want to try and increase his total today as he's got the ball in hand. We've had 56 minutes played of this one so far, as Craig Hall does then send that over the black dot through the uprights. So try there to Alex Walker on his debut then, which is he'll be pleased on that one. Converted by Craig Hall. That pushes us out now to 22 points to 13 in Featherstone's favour, of course. Featherstone coming down the slope in this second half, as we've said, and it is the ball kicked by Gilmore straight into the hands of Craig Hall, and old Soapy himself will trundle forward. He's met by three Batley defenders there, who eventually allow him to play the ball, and then Lockwood comes on a charge. Now Blackmore in there, quick play around the rope. Ben Blackmore goes for the gap. He's brought down. Quick play of the ball again. How speed is this? Parada, that was high. As he takes one for his trouble, but Chisholm, and the gaps are appearing now to John Davis. John Davis goes forward. Fifth and last tackle. Featherstone 20 metres away from the Batley try line. Chisholm with a crossfield kick. Craig Hall just a little bit unlucky. Wasn't able to pull that one in. And the ball ricochets and goes dead. That would have been spectacular if it had come off, Brad. Yeah,
it would have been. I think it was just a bit hard for Hawley to take in, especially with that much pressure on from his opposite number in Dale Morton, I think it was.
Yeah, well, Dale Morton, 250th appearance today.
Brilliant.
For that man. So again, some big numbers out there, some big achievements. It is Batley in possession. And it is Batley coming up the slope. The weather's turned a little bit again. I don't think it's raining, but it's certainly a little bit damper in the air, a little bit more moisture here that will affect how the ball is controlled, no doubt, as Batley get to their 30-metre line then. Using the big men there. It's Toby Everett. He's tackled by Alton and Harrison. And they move the ball back inside. As Parada and John Davis, you go from two of the biggest men on the field to two of the smallest men tackling the big frame of Gledhill. Ben Blackmore spills that backwards.
Gone back.
Referee says that's okay. Walker's there to recover. And Walker picks that one up, takes the tackle. Now, he's got to be offside. Surely he's offside.
Got away with that one.
Well, they certainly have got away with that one.
Don't mind, that's their fullback.
Yeah, referee's certainly been lenient on the 10 metres here. And Harrison will go forward. Featherstone's losing a bit of the advantage there because of the leniency from the referee, but now he's got them back the full quarter. And Lockwood will go on a charge. Lockwood then manages on the 5th and last tackle just to get us over the 30-metre line inside the Batley half. Brown out the back door to Holton. Holton fancies this with a little kick.
Frankie.
With a little kick and a chase. And the referee is going to say, yes, indeed. Frankie Holton has scored the try.
Wow, look at that.
Legend. Yeah.
Thinks he's a footballer now.
That's it. Hey, Frankie, do you remember me? Because we'll remember that try now. That was pure footballing skill.
Yeah.
He's been watching the Wakefield City, I think.
FC.
Yeah. They play at...
He'll be asking for trials on Tuesday.
That's it. It's now whether he decides to take the goal shot, though, Brad.
Yeah.
Because if he does, what's he going to do? Shoot. But well done, Frankie Holton. And momentum is truly swinging, you would say, Brad, a little bit back to our favour.
Yeah, definitely. We're taking more control now. You can tell with the field position what we're getting. We're getting into those right places and we're keeping Batley away from our danger zone. So we definitely are getting back into the game now, which is good, and you can tell that by the scoreboard.
Well, Craig Hall then sends that one straight through the upright. So that's another 2 for Craig Hall. We hope you're enjoying the commentary, brought to you live and exclusive by Rovers TV. Don't forget you can get in touch with us on Twitter at FevRovers RLFC or via Facebook with comments, views, anything you want to know, feel free to ask. Featherstone 28, Batley 13. 60 minutes gone then. 20 left of this one. And now will this be where the machine of Featherstone steps up another gear? This attacking machine that we've seen all season.
That's the only question mark now, isn't it, Pete?
Yeah.
We started good for the first quarter in the last half, and we just need to make sure that we continue this now. Obviously, we started good in the first quarter of the second half, so we just need to continue it, because we know that Batley won't go away.
Parada then from around the ruck finds John Davis. John Davis will just trundle forward, gets deep now inside the Batley half, but Batley will not, as Brad rightly says, they'll not give up the ghost. Chisholm, who's had a little bit of a quieter half in the second half, finds Ferris on his outside. Ferris is wrapped up on the 5th and last tackle then. What will Featherstone do? They'll bring the ball back, and that will go to Chisholm. Chisholm will feign across the park, and he'll put a kick on the turf, and that will eventually find the hands of, Batley player now, and the Batley player is racing away. Yeah, and it is that man Johnson, as you say, the try scorer from earlier on, and he's made all the way to the 30-metre mark there, as Featherstone go hunting the mistake, but Batley managing to keep hold of the ball, managing to gallop forward and make more yards there. I've just seen James Webster getting very animated on the coach's bench in front of us again, so he'll not be happy with that break there from Batley, as Batley come towards the halfway line. Featherstone's defence really now having to get out of the blocks, and Batley looking more empowered. That looks slightly forward from my position, but it is Gilmore that's still got the ball. He'll find Gledhill. Gledhill will go to ground.
Trying to look for that second phase now out the Batley.
They're more enthused, aren't they? They seem really lively as Gilmore does switch it round the back door. The ball comes loose. from Manning, and Ben Blackmore was there to pick it up. And it is Hardcastle then that will get us back on the go forward. Walker's in there at acting half. He's just looking at who he's going to hit. He finds Lockwood to his left-hand side. Lockwood then trundles forward over the halfway line. Featherstone 45 metres away now from the Batley try line as Harrison steps through the gap. Harrison goes forward. The lanky frame of James Harrison there, reaching out, trying to carry on going, but he's tackled as Chisholm has the ball. Chisholm dancing and shimmying, and he's eventually brought down as well.
Went for one-on-one there, didn't he?
Yeah, he
Alistair
did.
Leake.
Alistair Leake trying to strip him, wasn't he? But Dane Chisholm holding on to it, and it is now back into the hands of James Harrison over on the far left-hand side, and Harrison is eventually held. Fifth and last tackle, 10 metres out as Parada spots a gap down the blind side, and that then goes into the hands of Johnny Campbell, and he can race away, but so can Craig Hall and John Davis, and also Brett Ferris comes in there. Batley fans not happy around us as Johnny Campbell takes the tackle. A quick play of the ball though does see Batley further advance up the slope. Now Batley will give it some air. Gilmore to Manning running in this second row slot that he likes to occupy, and the referee says there that Manning has knocked on.
Great work by us there.
Yeah, fantastic.
Against the run of play, we had so many numbers to get back and track Johnny Campbell down, and then from that we had his line set ready for the next play.
You played here, Brad. You know this. How much does it take out you?
The slope. Wow. Well, when I first moved to Fev, everyone was like, "Oh, we're playing down or uphill," and I'm like, "I don't know what you're on about. It's flat this ground." So yeah, it's a tough one. People say it's in your head, but I'll tell you now, it definitely does take it out of your legs. And especially when you're tired and you look up that hill and think, I've got to get to the opposite side.
Especially when you've got to race somebody like Johnny Campbell, haven't you? You know what I mean?
It's a big task.
So Callum Field is back on as James Harrison leaves after a fantastic stint. No doubt he'll come back on towards the end of this as Parada goes through the gap. Parada is eventually wrapped up though by the Batley defence, who have done a number on Featherstone today. Defensively wise, Walker then now into the hands of Brown. John Davis will just take the drive before he goes down under the tackle. A little bit of indecisiveness now creeping in, but Featherstone trying to find something that is going to keep them going forward and going to keep them advantage with Featherstone, but the ball comes loose, and now Batley picked that up, and it's Batley and John Davis that make the tackle, but Batley will be thankful of that. It'll relieve some pressure on the Batley line as they now have possession over on the over on the far terrace side, but Featherstone slowing things down in the ruck area, and it is that man Toby Everett then for Batley in the centre of the park that will go forward. The ball goes out the back door into the hands of I'm just trying to think who that one is. I'm just trying to spot.
Is it Dale Morton?
Yeah, it might be Morton, yeah. And Wellham sort of like giving him a bit of a facial there, and Morton says thanks for that. Fifth and last tackle then. A little bit of a downer this set of six, and Callum Field and Gledall getting into it here, and now we've got players running in left, right and centre. Play continues as Walker, Walker's
done well to take most of that opportunity there, hasn't he?
Yeah, he does, but the shout from the coach's bench there was take the hit as Gadwin Springer comes back on and John Davis comes off, and now Hardcastle again will go forward. He'll get us up to the 40. He'll get us up to the 40-metre line, and it's getting a bit tasty now as Blackmore goes forward, and it is still a bit feisty out there. Chisholm with a little kick, and Chisholm's going to test his pace here. Now then, what will the referee give there? He's going to give that back to...
He said a knock-on off Chiz, didn't he?
He's giving it...
20-metre restart.
20-metre restart, yeah, as you say. But how unlucky was that as Dane Chisholm backed himself?
Yeah, so close.
Featherstone then will go hunting the mistake. They'll look for something here. They'll look for Batley to come up with an error that will give possession and advantage back to Rovers. There's New Brown, Holton and Springer are in there. But it is Gilmore that gets his troops on the front foot, advancing nicely up to the 40-metre line. As they come up the slope, they will go down the far terrace side and look for something to open up in the Featherstone defensive line, but so far Featherstone not giving anything. And then the ball does come out loose. The gap was there. Everett trying to send his supporting player through the gap, but unfortunately that's gone forward. And it will be advantage back to Featherstone as Gilmore just shakes his head there in a little bit of disbelief as he walks back to the defensive line for Batley. And it is Gadwin Springer then. Gadwin Springer will take the first charge of this set of 6. We have around about 10 minutes left. Featherstone 28, Batley 13 here at the Foxes Biscuit Stadium. Featherstone with the possession. Parata, Lockwood. Lockwood looking to offload but decides against it. Takes the tackle. Featherstone just shy of the Batley 40-metre line. And it is Toby Everett there keeping Lockwood pinned to the floor. And Everett's in there again with... I'm just trying to find my player, Dane Manning. Just helping out in the tackles there as Wellham. Wellham gets us towards the 20-metre line here. Wellham trying to get his hands free for a quick play of the ball. Holton does manage to get that ball to Brown. Brown goes across the park, finds Chisholm. Chisholm finds to Hall. The gaps were there. Can Hall exploit the gaps? No. Batley very, very quickly number up and will get possession as that was the 5th and last tackle. So Batley just shy of the 20-metre line. Will come now. And they'll want to come forward. And it is Morton that takes that drive. As Campbell linking quite well, finds eventually the hands of Dane Manning. Dane Manning is wrapped up there by Holton and Field. And it is now Central Channel, Central Avenue again for Batley. Being forced into the Central Channel rather than having to play in the Central Channel. Or wanting to play in the Central Channel, but it's Featherstone's defence that's keeping them very narrow as they try and go forward, and they will now look to put some air into the ball and they'll look to spread it about as Manning offloads in the tackle, and that keeps Batley's hopes alive.
Just what they're looking for. Second phase player.
Second phase, yeah. Gilmore then. Gilmore with a little kick over the top. That's going to ask questions. Johnson manages to get the ball, and we see football skills, we see everything going on there before Ben Blackmore knocks the ball dead. We've got Gilmore down in back play, we've got New Brown there, and I think Ben Blackmore took one for his troubles as well, didn't he, in that top corner. But again, very, very panic, Brad, is a word that springs to mind.
Batley are just trying their hand now, aren't they? They know time's ticking down, and they're just throwing everything at us what we can. Seeing how much desire we've got, but it's proving there that we had. It looks like an explosion went off at end. Yeah. There were that many players down on floor, and
who shot who?
Yeah.
Well, James Lockwood has left the park after a mammoth task. And a mammoth part that he's played today in this one. And it's going to be everything being equal, Brad. I don't want to spoil anything. 7 minutes left, but we're not home unhosed yet, but this could be the victory that we need to lift the spirits back after last week's defeat. At home to Toulouse, Callumfield. Just, what a run from Springer there.
Been aggressive today, hasn't he?
Yes.
Throwing his weight about. And
yeah, big frame of old Springer as Parada manages to exploit the gap. Well done, Frankie Alton. Frankie Alton looks to offload, and Frankie Alton tries to offload, but is eventually wrapped up, and the referee does eventually shout held as Dane Manning comes to the fore. Few shots in there on James Harrison as he takes the tackle just shy of the 30-metre line of the Batley Bulldogs, and Springer will decide to have a bit of a gallop here. Fifth and last tackle, gets to the 20-metre line. As the ball goes out now through hands, that's a little kick from Ferris, something different. That forces Batley to kick dead, and that's going to be a dropout, Brad.
Yeah, great play.
Yeah.
I was back rows are having a bit of a kicking game
That's
today, aren't they?
it?
We're going to have to start working on it after maybe rehab.
I was just trying to think, Brad, obviously for yourself and the coming back into it as you did, and the linkage was just starting to come again, wasn't it?
Yeah, just starting to get back into
the
form. And
that's it. The old Chisholm Day partnership was starting to exploit a few as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A short kick-off then into the hands of Welland. Welland read that quite well as Batley tries something different there, but it is Featherstone that come up with the ball as Parada finds Brown. Brown finds Field. Field as impressive as ever, not taking a backward step all day. He's been there, he's taken a few shots and a few facials for his trouble, but eventually he's held down. The referee does say back to one on the penalty count as Gadwin Springer went towards the line, and the big frame of Gadwin Springer is going to be carried over and carried dead. In that situation, Brad, why doesn't the referee shout help? Because he knows the player's not going to get it down, does he? And is that not surely putting the player in danger?
It's an hard one, isn't it? I mean,
or is that me being soft, Brad?
If I were a defending, then I'm happy.
Yeah.
But they put a lot of effort into that of Batley to be able to take him to dead ball line. But it's an hard one to take. I'd be annoyed if we were Gadwin now.
Well, a great hit there from Callumfield on the impressive as ever Michael Ward. Them two having a bit of a roll around here. It's a good job it's not too muddy, because that would have been like watching something else. Anyway, we digress, but it is Batley who have possession just inside the 30-metre mark of the Featherstone Rovers, and it is Batley going forward there with Greg Johnson as they now move the ball to Gilmore. Gilmore with a little kick. That one catches all off guard, and Hall gets one for his troubles there as well. I think that Craig Hall would have...
strange one, that, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm just looking there because even Brett Ferris is getting up gingerly as Craig Hall stays on the floor. Signal is all right. He's
probably just winded.
Yeah, I think he's just gathering a bit of wind. It may be, from the actual collision.
Yeah, a bit of a contacting air, wasn't it? Yeah. They both obviously went football, but they were both running at speed as well, so probably just knocked a bit of wind out of him. But he's done well there as well because he nicked a few metres. Yeah,
he has. Old slippery, slidey, soapy.
Stuff you like to see.
That's it, isn't it? That's it. Just sliding towards the 10-metre line there before he played it. Blackmore then. And Blackmore tries scoring on his return, obviously, to action. And he's been into the thick of things again. Just trying to get some of that rustiness out of his system as Mew Brown spots the gap. Mew Brown steps through. And eventually Mew Brown is ankle tapped there as Parada finds Holton on his shoulder. Holton skips back on the inside. As the ball, what's the referee going to say here? As Blackmore goes down with cramp, stretching his legs. A bit of a debate going on there. Dean Parada a little bit unlucky there to be penalised by the referee.
I think he was blaming Frankie for that plate ball, wasn't he? Incorrect.
Yeah. But it is Batley then that have the ball with Kay. Eventually the ball moves into the hands of Ward. Ward is eventually wrapped up. Lake then will play the ball. He'll find Everett. Everett will go forward before 3 men come in and ping him to the ground. But it is Batley then looking to keep the ball alive with Gilmore. And then eventually they force that into the hands of Flynn. Flynn, who's had quite a good game today, gets Batley over the 20-metre line as Gilmore will go searching. He'll want to probe and ask questions on the 10-metre line as Toby Everett is brought down.
Hot to 1.
And the tackle count reset as the ball is floated over the top towards the hands there of Levi Edwards. Levi Edwards is eventually brought down on the 10. Wellham there involved in another good tackle. And now Flynn will go again towards the Featherstone line. Batley inching closer and closer. Ben Kay. Is Ben Kay.
Wouldn't be surprised if there were a scooter here.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me at all, as you say, Brad. And it is a little scoot, as you say, and it is Michael Ward that goes for the crash ball over the line, but he's held up there. Parada managing to make sure that he didn't put that down.
Yeah, he's done well there.
Yeah, Batley will race back to the 10-metre line. The referee not happy. Wants everything won to be in position. Now he'll whistle play on. And it is Batley that will now decide to go down a different track as they move the ball all the way across to the right-hand side. As Walshaw is eventually wrapped up there. As Batley just trying to find somewhere
Good
here
work, Neil.
to unlock
Smart, well done.
the defence. But the little kick through there doesn't fool anybody. New Brown takes that one. Walker will offload. And he will find, I think it's Lockwood that he's found there. No, it's not Lockwood. Hardcastle. But it is Batley now having to defend as Harrison back on. And Harrison beats one. Still going forward is James Harrison before he's brought down. Well, it's nearly time up here at the Foxes Biscuit Stadium. It is Featherstone with the ball. It is Ferris. Ferris drops a shoulder. 5th and last tackle. Then Hardcastle to Chisholm. Chisholm will put that deft little kick in again. He'll try to split Campbell and the winger up, and he does. And Campbell will race forward before eventually he's wrapped up by Holton and Wellham. Here, Batley 13, Featherstone 28. Nearly full time. We just wait for the hooter now. Can't be that long left in this one. And it's been an entertaining game from start to finish. It has been an arm wrestle. We have had Batley to the fore. Batley have really shown well at times and really asked questions of Featherstone. It is Batley that have possession now. And I think that's the hooter that goes. It sounded
new, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't sure at first. And, well, Featherstone players, a few of them dropped to their haunches. A few of the Batley players dropped to their haunches as it's been a real test for them today up against Featherstone. Featherstone answering back after the defeat last week to Toulouse, answering back the best way they can with a fine victory here of 28 points to 13. Brad, give us your quick 60-second view.
Yeah, like we said at half time, we needed to come out, complete a bit better and manage the game, and I think that's what we did. You know, it proved over, I'd say, 20 minutes in the middle. You know, we had a bit of a purple patch there and Batley couldn't keep with us, and then we managed to keep them out towards the end when they were trying to chuck everything at us, weren't they? But as effort were there all the way through the game, so that's a great sign to have.
Well, it is certainly a great sign to have. There'll be plenty to work there on. Be interesting to get the thoughts of head coach James Webster after this one, see what he says. You'll find that obviously interview on Rovers TV. I've been Pitchside Pete. Alongside me today has been the one, the only legend, Brad Day. Thanks, Brad, always a pleasure. Love working with you, mate.
Thanks for
Top
having us,
man.
mate.
Really, really good. Next week, we're back at the Millennium. Next week, it's York. Enjoy your rugby league. We do.